Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. We always decided to do it differently, and the conversation has been concentrated on the Kamkunji rally yesterday. I have decided to get a gentleman who has been vocal at this Bunge la Wananchi. I don't know whether I'm the only one who is getting addicted to that environment, to that audience, because I emblem them as the really voice of the society, and this gentleman here will help us to dissect through what the public thinks. But just before that, let us give him time to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Kevin. My name is Kevin Omondi.
Kevin Omondi.
Yes. My name is Kevin Omondi. Yes. A citizen of this country.
Yes. Kevin.
Yes.
At what time did you arrive in Jacaranda? Kamkunji.
At about 11.
In the morning?
Yes, 11 in the morning. 11 in the morning.
Okay. You will help us here to dissect the minds, or rather the public perception on what is going on, because I understand you've been so much around in the Bunge la Wananchi area, and I believe there you really gather a lot of what Kenyans really think. So what did you see? What is your recap about Jacaranda?
I do interact with a lot of citizens of this country. So at Kamkunji, I actually expected a huge number to turn out, but what I saw at Kamkunji was more than what I expected. At least I think that crowd just show how much people out here have been overburdened by the cost of living. It's very tough for people, and the people spoke by their turnout.
That turnout was revealing.
That turnout was revealing. That turnout was like a protest, and that turnout was of a people that are speaking and want their voice to be heard.
Wow. And on that, I just want to pick up a conversation with you. About this Kamkunji engagements. The Kenya Kwanza team are saying that Raila is going after handshake. But yesterday, Raila said, I am not after a handshake. This debate has been with us here for some time. Then, when you engage with the people on ground, wale mkiwa pale kwa base pale chini, what is really, why do you think that the population is against a handshake with Ruto?
Now, there are two different aspects to the handshake that Ruto is trying to purport, that Honorable Raila Odinga is seeking.
Even Ruto is Honorable Ruto. His Excellency.
Yes. So Ruto is known to be dishonest. No, he has never kept his promises. So he is a leader who has always backtracked on what he has promised. So that element of honesty in any kind of discussion of handshake cannot exist when you are engaging with someone who has proven to be a dishonest person, who has never kept to any promise that he is making to the electorate.
And so maybe you discredit the public feels. Pale wanasema yeye ni muongo sana.
Yeah. I interact with a lot of people, the common mwananchi. And from the common mwananchi has lost the trust in William Ruto. The common mwananchi does not believe that anything that William Ruto says, he means it, and he means well for this country.
But why so?
Kevin, the Honorable Mr. President, His Excellency Mr. President William Ruto, has in the recent past been so firm in has always been consistent in backtracking on the promises. We can start with the issue of the cost of living, unga, the price of unga. His Excellency the President promised that immediately after he shall have been sworn in, the cost of unga will come to 80 shillings. You and I know that has never happened. Unless I shop in a different shops to where you shop, you and I know that has never happened.
And I want to take you back a bit. We've had handshakes before, and one of the reasons was Uhuru Raila. And by that time, people did not show hostility. So what has changed? Or what was better on that one?
Now, when you are a leader that has always been consistent in making pledges that you never fulfill, at some point people get to see you as that liar that can never be trusted. William Ruto is the complete opposite of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Why?
Uhuru Kenyatta was a honorable man, somebody who could keep to his promises, who could make the promises and keep them. William Ruto doesn't know how to keep his promises. He makes promises, but always keep backtracking on those promises.
And so, sorry for cutting your thought. The President Uhuru Kenyatta, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, that handshake was seen as something that was not just political harmony, but was more of a tribal harmony, because people looked at it as if it was Kikuyu Luo. Do you think that is really the position vis-a-vis what's happening now? And in terms of how it even produced, it supported Raila Odinga's presidential bid, do you think that's advantage compared to what we're seeing now?
Yeah, I think one thing that people don't get to see or talk about like they should talk about is this handshake. It was historic and symbolic to a certain extent. It is a known fact that the people of the mountain, the Mount Kenya people, and the people of the lakeside have never seen eye to eye in terms of politics. This one was a bold step and was one of the most, something that needs to be celebrated in this country, when Uhuru Kenyatta reached out to His Excellency Raila Odinga, so that they could try and bury the hatchet, the tension that has always been between the two communities, ethnic communities. So I think it was statesmanship, it was of people, it was and it was perceived by the common people as people who put the state before themselves and try to reach out to each other in order to forge forward.
Raila received a backlash that alikuwa akipigana na akiwa na wananchi, lakini alipoenda huko ni kama watu waliona ni kama ameacha wananchi, lakini baadaye it came to support his presidential bid. Do you think it ended well?
Personally, I think people always try to pick out anything to blame whenever the outcome of something that is desired is not achieved. People will always try to pick on anybody they can see around and try to put blames. The handshake, as it was between Uhuru Kenyatta and Right Honorable Raila Odinga, was one of the best things that has ever happened in this country. And I don't think Raila, anything that Raila achieved or came back at his presidential bid had nothing to do with the handshake in itself. The handshake in itself was something that Raila meant good for this country, and both of them, they swallowed their pride and stood for something that they believed, and we including myself as an ardent supporter of Raila Odinga, believe it was something that meant well for this country to heal the tension that has always been between the two communities.
Now, on that, the Raila supporters are asking a question that if Raila shakes hands with Ruto, is it going to produce someone in Azimio as the next running mate, a chief minister or something? Do you think it would sound political merit on Azimio way? You said that Ruto is a very dishonest man.
Yes, and I stand by that. But speaking about the handshake, if at all it were to happen, but based on what I know, even the supporters of Raila Odinga, they are against the handshake. But if at all, even if the handshake were to happen, I don't see any political benefits to the people of the Lake region. I think Ruto has found new friends in Mount Kenya, And I think we are not new in politics, and we know that in politics, when you try to fix something, you have to take away something. So it means Ruto will be open to new friends, but the question is, what are these new friends coming to get into those new partnerships?
Musalia Mudavadi is supposed as a chief minister. You can create other chief minister.
Now, Musalia Mudavadi sits in a position that is created by virtue of an executive order. So I don't think it will be prudent in this country to have so many positions that are created by virtue of executive orders. I think when somebody gives you a position out of an executive order, the challenge is always that you are always easy to get rid of. So usually when you are going to lure a particular political base, they will always need something tangible such that they feel secure. They feel secure. When you are, for example, like you are a deputy president or you are a running mate to a candidate, you are protected. You are protected by the Constitution, and there are provisions for maybe an impeachment. But your boss or the president cannot wake up one night and decide that I've had enough of you. You pack and go.
Wow. I like the way you put it. And there is the other. I said I wanted to ask you two questions. After Kamkunji, the next question is what next? And people are asking Raila, give us way forward. And so, if that way forward is to, there are many options on table. You protest, you collect signatures, you do that. And if the public was to given the way forward, as many people would actually expect, do you think people are yearning? Can people come out?
Kevin, I've told you, I think I've said severally that I interact with the people. And one thing that I can assure you, that there are very few of the ardent Azimio supporters that are outspoken, that will make their feelings known. But quite a huge number of those Azimio supporters, they have been keeping their emotions intact and burning within themselves. These people are yearning for a concrete direction given by our leader. And I can assure you beyond any reasonable doubt that these emotions that they have been piling up within themselves, once they are given that direction, these people are going to take that direction without any fear.
Raila sounded very emotional and brave, and like he had nothing to lose. Does that go down to the audience, the population?
Yes. Raila has nothing to lose. Raila has always been consistent on what he's fighting for. Raila has always been consistent on what he wants this country to be like, on the values that he wants this country to embrace. And that speaks volumes. And I can assure you that his supporters share in the same views. His supporters share in those same dreams of a better Kenya, where in the years to come, someone can be confident enough that the Kenya has grown democratically to an extent that a leader can be elected by the will of the people.
So the discussion about a perennial loser of branding the Kenyan of Raila Odinga as a perennial loser comes with a parallel narrative of election rigging. Where do public weigh?
Now, you see, there is a certain opaqueness by which elections have been handled in this country, and it is very obvious. You know, you cannot just always claim that elections have been done free and fair when in reality you are always hiding something below below the chairs. So make elections have always been handled in this country such that the election commissions or the commission has always been keeping a lot out of the public domain. I think Raila Odinga is very right when he says that we need all the election servers to be open so that we can know exactly what is it that was transmitted in these servers, so that we can know the truth.
Someone is saying, are they asking for impossible to keep the conversation going on?
No, it's not impossible. What Raila is asking for is the minimum that the Kenyan voters deserve. The Kenyan voter deserves to know the truth, not just for the purposes of this election, but for the purposes of the elections that are to come in future.
Talk to me about people's pockets. Some of us we sample what some of our audience say, and it has come out. One of the general or rather a narrative, narrative is that people's pockets are dry, and any little hope that comes their way, they will grab it in the morning. Talk to me about how people are feeling.
The truth is, the situation in this country gives little optimism that there will be a better tomorrow. That's the truth, and that is the exact thing I see in most of the people that I interact with. Lots of graduates with no job. The ever-rising cost of living, while you remain on the same salary for the past like a decade. You are on the same salary, but with a rising inflation. So the cost of living in this country is a menace, alongside the unemployment. And I can give you example. The other day I was interacting, just at Kamkunji, I was interacting with a few people that were my classmates at the campus. So we are talking about how our lives have been 3 years after graduation. And I can tell you for a fact that I thought I was the only one who has lost hope, but looking at them...
When did you lose hope? What did you study in school, by the way? Maybe your employer is here.
I studied civil aviation management at Moi University.
Civil aviation management. Hiyo ni kutengeneza nini?
Civil aviation management, that one deals with the field of aviation. That is airport, airline management. Yeah, so I did civil aviation at Moi University, but then came Corona. I graduated in 2019, then came Corona, just 2020, early 2020. Then, you know, aviation was hit hard. So it became very difficult to secure even an internship, leave alone a job opportunity. So since then, we've been running around the country, a few hustles. Yeah. So to cut the story short,
you should not cut the story short.
When I met...
No, I don't want you to cut the story short. I want you to finish the story.
Yes.
So where are you now? Have you got the internship?
No, not yet.
But you need it.
Yes.
Yes, you need it. Yes.
I definitely need it. So that just sums up the situation in this country. So many graduates hustling around with no concrete job to do.
Your sector is worst hit.
Yes. I think my sector, having the aviation industry generally, maybe alongside the tourism industry, was one of the hardest hit industry during the corona pandemic. I think that there is hope that the industry is rebounding and it's gaining its feet again, and we are hoping that things will be better.
There is a ploy that there is an announcement that price of unga will go down, but people have also sounded that the cost of living is about unga. What is your definition about cost of living? What is your assessment?
I think the cost of living, okay, I think generally the food in itself is a very important driver whenever you want to tackle the issue of cost of living. That one cannot be ignored. But there are a lot of other areas that needs addressing. For example, the issue of Kenya KPLC and tokens. I think it is criminal for common mwananchi to buy tokens only for 60% of the amount he spends to be in form of taxes, and only 40% to go to the actual tokens. I think as a country, we need to sit down and we need to see, and we need to take this as a crisis. We need to treat it with the urgency that it deserves. Things cannot continue the same way. It cannot be treated as business as usual, and it cannot be allowed to go any further.
Wow, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know what you want to say. Finally, to Kimaliza.
Now, finally, I will want to pass my sincere gratitude for giving me this opportunity to dissect on what is ailing my motherland.
You're always welcome.
My beloved country.
Yes.
I think I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart because I think millions of Kenyans share in these problems. It's not just my problem. I'm sure so many graduates who are watching out there are saying the same thing. They all have a vision for a better Kenya. But the government has to give them reason to hope that there will actually be a better Kenya, because as things stand, we have not seen any reason to be optimistic that tomorrow will be better.
As if even if things are not good, we should see reasons that things are going to be good tomorrow.
Yes, we need to see that they have a concrete plan and they are working towards making things better than they are today. That concrete plan is what we are not seeing at the moment. And it's what we need to see.
And me, I hope that you should get an internship soon so that you start seeing it.
Thank you very much. Asante.
Hi guys, thank you very much. I was talking to Kevin. He's amazing. I didn't know that he was in the aviation, and as I say, you know, kama uko na hiyo attachment hiyo aviation, let's link up. I can share, by the share your number, you know.
Thank you. My number is 0708 700 825. 0708 700 825.